should you keep paying for psychology today? And how psychology today actually plays, what role does it play in your um, business as a private psychotherapist? So today, it's not about how to make psychology today better, even though I will show you few psychology today examples. Like I actually prepare psychology today here. I actually prepare a few psychology today profiles. Like I'm literally gonna live react with you during this live stream. If you are on Instagram, I highly suggest you join me on LinkedIn. You join me on YouTube. Either LinkedIn or YouTube is fine because this is where you're gonna see the screen that I'm going to share later. If you don't want to see the screen and just want to listen in, and that's fine too. So, but one important question, I think, when we are attacking or when we're tackling psychology today from this standpoint, like, okay, is this the tool? Like, do I keep paying for that? Because listen, being a therapist is expensive. You have to pay for continuous education. You have to pay for training. You already paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for your education, and now there are platforms, right? You want to get your clients, or maybe you work at a practice, and maybe it's a group practice, and they require you to have psychology today, but they do you take clients through that group practice. It's complicated, and the answer, like the better question is actually not if psychology today is effective. The question is a little bit deeper. The question is how people actually look for therapy, how, and not just for how people actually look for therapy, how your clients, how people that you work best, how do they find you? And if it is psychology today, if it is working, how you can make it work better. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And on Tuesday, by the way, I'm dropping podcast episode on my YouTube channel, on my podcast, Heart and Profit podcast, where I'm diving a little bit deeper into customer journey. We like also about psychology today, but we are actually talking about much deeper things like thought leadership, as and also how we really attract the clients that we want, and like what is that customer journey. And I'm going to touch on that today as well because it is a big topic. I can honestly probably talk about the therapy customer journey, the systems, the private pay, the insurance, probably for a good year. And I will not run out of content. And at every single session, I can probably bring psychology today. So buckle up. Um, Also, as you're watching, as on the replay or live, let me know where you're watching me from, please. Let me know where you're watching me from, please. And also, as something resonates, please let me know in the comments. So, Tanya on LinkedIn said, oh, I think it would be interesting to look at it from the lens of a different kind of company and see how much it aligns. I bet the overall is shockingly similar. Tanya, it is similar, but it is quite different. Like it is similar, but it is quite different because therapy business is a very different business. And by the way, not no shade, no shame to business coaches, but a lot of business coaches just don't understand how therapy business really works. What we can ethically promise, what we can ethically promise. They don't. They don't. If a person has never worked as a therapist, has never used tools like Psychology Today tool, for example, they like it's hard for them to like really put themselves in shoes of a therapy or of a therapist. I personally use Psychology Today as a hypnotherapist. I'm a licensed, registered hypnotherapist in the state of Washington. I use psychology today. I do have my grievances with psychology today, and we're gonna talk about a few things that can actually bring more life and more customers to to the profile. So number one, when it comes to psychology, when it comes to client acquisition, not just psychology today. Let's switch our focus. And I'm very much not a fan of this formula. Can Facebook, can LinkedIn, can Threads, can Instagram bring customers? I mean, of course it can. Anything can, LinkedIn can bring you customers. Anything, any platform that you're working can bring you customers. The question is a little bit deeper. The question is like, okay, for your circumstances, do you take insurance? Yes or no? And this is like, I'm going to dive deeper on my Heart and Profit podcast on Tuesday. Please follow that show, watch the episode or listen to the episode on Tuesday. Drop episode early morning on Tuesday. So, but really the question like what kind of clients you're really working with. Do you take insurance? Yes or no? Is it private pay only? What is the price point that you work with your clients? And this is like these are very important questions to ask, because from that standpoint, you're gonna decide how customers are looking for you. So if let's say let's play a game, and we're playing similar game on the podcast on Tuesday. Let's play a game. Have you I want you to really be a patient or a client over therapy, and as a therapist you go to therapy. I know you go to therapy because in order to be effective therapist, you have to go to therapy. And yes, you do go to therapy. I believe I believe so. And as a therapist and as a client, more importantly, where do you go? Where do you go? Let's do a little bit of self reflection. Where do you go? And I understand that you are not your customer, that you are not your patient, you are not your client, you're a different person. But important question here is, do you know colleagues? If so, maybe you follow somebody online. Do you pay private pay? And for me personally, it is so frustrating to work with my insurance personally that I'm very much open to private pay personally. But I want to kind of walk you through my customer journey. So I don't know, maybe I'm your ideal customer, and I always like to give practical examples. I'm looking for a therapist. So, how do I find therapist? Do I go to psychology today? So first of all, I identify I'm very self-reflective person, and this time around I'm looking for IFS therapist. And I need a therapist who works with entrepreneurs, possibly with other therapists who understands how other therapists work, and also is LGBTQ affirming, providing LGBTQ affirming care. These are my requirements. I will ask a little bit more personal questions like experience working with entrepreneurs. I'm money mindset and healthy money mindset is important. And this is and again, this is my personal bias. And I think it's a little bit, I don't think it is 100% correct. But my personal bias, I believe that therapists who do private pay, they have, a little bit more. I have to be careful here. they they are more strict and they're more clear on their boundaries with abundance. And I think they have done a little bit deeper work when it comes to money. And when they say, hey, $300, this is my hourly fee. $400, this is my hourly fee. And this is who I work with. And I'm not taking insurance. This is a deep work and this is a big risk. And this is also people who command those prices in therapy. They have done tremendous personal work, tremendous business development work, tremendous things. I will give you an example of a therapist that I would hire like here in a little bit. But I want us like just for shits and giggles to go on Psychology Today and let me see if and share with you how I personally find people on Psychology Today and what I personally look in a person when I look for Psychology Today. So I am sharing my screen and I am on Psychology Today. Let's see if everything renders. Everything renders. So this is life reaction. This is public therapists who are in Seattle area. I have not prepared my thing in advance. Okay. Like I just like go as I scroll. So if I look at like, let's say people who are on top. So the first profile, right? And again, I'm okay with private pay. I need strict. I know who I want to work with. I want a person who knows IFS, who works in IFS container, and who also addresses, like the issues with stress, issues with boundaries, issues with maybe like self abandonment, like maybe trauma, like things like that. But IFS is important for me, and LGBTQ affirming care is important for me, and also experience working with entrepreneurs is important for me. So, uh, I'm looking at this profile. And again, this is not to pick at my fellow therapists, okay? So if you're watching me on link on IG and you want to see this share screen, join me on YouTube or link, and I'm sharing my screen there. So or just listen in. So, on the profile, this is a very nice bio. So, I'm Dr. Andrew. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. Hello, Dr. Andrew. Um, and then Dr. Andrew talks about that I'm passionate about identical development, intergenerational trauma, enhancing motivation and change behaviors. Um, I'm a therapist. I understand what you're talking about, but let's say I'm not a therapist. Let's say I am I am a software engineer, right? Which is like I also work in 10 years in software development. I will be looking at like, oh, this dude is really smart. But I the half of paragraph I don't understand. The half of paragraph I don't understand how it relates to me personally. So I work with a variety of clients across lifespan, including individual affected by trauma, depression, anxiety, chronic medical conditions, alcohol and substance use, as well as individual with from underrepresented backgrounds. Good. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of from individual from underrepresented backgrounds. Like, yeah, kind of, sort of, yeah, and that's okay. So Dr. Andrew takes insurance, which is I will probably hit up Dr. Andrew if I'm considering insurance because I see that he is very genuine. I see that he is very like this is very heartwarming. This is very heartwarming profile. I I I like him. I mean, I like all therapists. Listen, like I after working in mental health as a clinical psychologist and other various roles, I love you all, and I'm like I'm probably like for me like it is challenging, but also it's going to be fairly easy because like as soon as I feel the genuine energy, I probably just gonna fall for a therapist and apply to work with them, and hopefully I will work with them directly and not with a student therapist because I'm not ready for a student therapist yet. I digress. Okay, we went on a little tangent. Okay, top specialties: ADHD, intellectual disability, autism. Well, I have ADHD. Yeah, like that kind of hits like expertise, Asperger's syndrome, depression, developmental disorders, dual diagnosis, pregnancy. Yeah, kind like maybe like that. That is a maybe. But if I'm looking for a private practice therapist, I probably not gonna not gonna um choose that person, like not gonna choose Dr. Andrew specifically unless let's see Dr. Andrew's website. Oh, hold on. I think it's some sort of like group practice. Okay, Dr. Andrew, I need I need social media. So if I follow Dr. Andrew on social media and he has really dope thought leadership, I will absolutely look in. Another therapist, Ron. So, okay, awareness is everything. How often do we ask ourselves, how did I get back here again? This is very reflective. This is very conversational. Like I kind of like the opening, but again, it says nothing about me. Like not yet, at least. But I was like, okay, like I don't ask that question. How did I get back here again? No, like I mean, I'm moving on. Like I'm good. So, and this is why I need to go to therapy because as I'm listening to myself, I'm like, uh-oh, um, it's time. But like, this is not what I ask. Like, and this is so important, by the way, if you are a therapist. Um, if you're choosing client-based language, and I may not be the client of Ron, and I again, this is not to shade or shame other therapists. This is literally me reacting live. This is a good reflective profile, and by the way, he says that he specializes on LGBTQ plus. Yes, I will probably pay a little bit more attention to that profile as well. So like just a disclaimer, it's not a shame, and it's not a shame. I want to point out it specifically. This is all with love and compassion. And listen, I'm not like I will show you my psychology today. So we're gonna be honest about it. So very reflective, raising our awareness of these patterns can help us free from re-engaging in them. So, he's talking about like this, loop when we are falling again and again and again in unwanted behaviors and in unwanted patterns. This is good, by the way, because like I have unwanted patterns that I fall for, but what would help me specifically if I say, hey, do you do X, Y, and Z? For example, like if one of the examples, like if Ron said you had a busy productive day, and at the end of the day, you're thinking about lighting a cigarette or a cigar or any other substance again just to ease just to ease up and relax. But after that, you still don't feel the release. Or another unwanted behavior, like communication, or like negative thoughts pattern, whatever. That would be like, oh, like, yeah, as a person who been struggling for a long time to quit smoking, that's okay. Yeah, like, and that's my behavior. Like, I normally light up after one busy weekend, like something like that. So that would actually spark a conversation, like spark something in me, and I would consider that profile. So fees, $175, which is fine. And again, like, this is not to say, hey, like, if you don't charge $300 for a consultation or for your therapy session, you're less than. Like, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like buyer psychology. So will I hit Ron? Will I talk to Ron? Um, like, I let me see. Again, if it is like, let me see. They're like Gestalt therapy. I like Gestalt therapy, but like, I'm looking for IFS therapy. So let's go to let's go to Sarah. So Sarah, licensed social worker associate. So I believe healing happens through connections with ourselves and with others. Sounds very Gestalt. I'm sorry. I learned Gestalt therapy, and like, well, connection and contact with ourselves and others. This is very Gestalt. By the way, like, which she takes insurance, she takes Aetna, like, expertise, EMDR, CBT, DBT, somatic, yeah, uh, EMDR. No Gestalt. Like, okay, but again, this is like the what I'm leading here, like, because this is the third profile with the same issue, is that uh, start with your client, because psychology today, it is not, I mean, it is not about you. Marketing is, it is not about you, it's about your client. You start with your client in the second paragraph, how you actually help them. So my approach, because this is like, this is the core thing that kills a lot of therapists. The first paragraph is about you. The second paragraph is about your approach. What I would do, I would put first paragraph about a customer. The second paragraph is about my approach. And the third paragraph is about, like, connection, compassion, if you're considering therapy, and like kind of like call to action. So let's say IFS. So let's see. Like IFS therapist. So okay, like, let me actually name. Okay, name therapist. Okay. Home Seattle, and I'm doing it absolutely live. So and filters, and I here in the filters. If you are, like, again, like, if you're on IG, go to LinkedIn or YouTube, and you will see it. So I am types of therapy. I will go to internal family systems, and I this is like what is important to be LGBTQ plus. So two criteria, is not too complicated. So let me see, and Seattle, Washington. Okay. Like and psychology today unfortunately also has like technical issues sometimes. Okay. Seattle. So I do have a little bit more like I do have a little bit more precise precise search for like for therapists. So let's see. Huh. And also, like, what is frustrating for me is that somehow, somehow, the indexing, right? Like, and the indexing is weird because when I edited my Psychology Today profile, I was on the first, on the first page, which is I'm actually going to test it live with you and see if I will end up on the first page after I edit my page. But this is my approach. This is my approach. Again, I told you that I will roast myself too. And I will tell you exactly what is wrong with my profile, by the way. And this is something that I will be testing in the future. So I am certified hypnotherapist. I have licensed well, I have credential as a registered hypnotherapist in Washington. And I say you are an entrepreneur, executive, medical professionals, or a tech leader who knows what needs to happen next, but you find yourself overthinking decision, overworking for control, or choosing safety over alignment. You are dealing with ex- execution paralysis, decision fatigue, burnout, imposter syndrome, fear based patterns despite your success. Productivity systems and mindset work haven't addressed what actually driving this. Do you wonder if high performance could feel less exhausting and more aligned? So it's a little bit wordy, like to be honest with you, but like I start with who. Like I like, hey, I you this. Like, yeah, like that this is me. And then we start by identifying nervous system responses driving your patterns. So how do we work together? We're starting to identify the patterns. Then using hypnotherapy, uh, integrated with IFS, internal family system, and acceptance and commitment therapy components, not the psychotherapy itself, components and principles. As a like hypnotherapy is not a therapy, not the same thing. It's just like for legal disclaimer. And this is normally when I tell my hypnotherapy clients, I say, hey, this is hypnotherapy. If you need to dive more into work with on the deeper, like on the even deeper level, but in a different modality than psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, go to licensed mental health professional, nurse, or psychiatric nurse practitioner, or licensed therapist. So we address these. At the source, not through willpower, but through shifting how your system responds to pressure. We notice calm, clarity, and confidence often within the first few sessions. And this is like, uh, you will, and normally this is what happens. Like I'm like this is, and this is the trickiness, right? I don't promise that the hypnotherapy will be more effective than talk therapy. And what I can like based on data, you will notice more calm, clarity, and confidence. This is normally what with majority of hypnotherapy clients happen. They notice more calm because when you do progressive muscle relaxation, when you embody more self energy, when you use more reflective methodology, um, that will bring more calm, clarity, and confidence too when you work on change work, when you focus on change work, when you focus on the confidence. And after within a few sessions, and normally it happens after within a few sessions. And I finish with why me, why me, and how they should work, how we should work together. I understand both clinical psychology and reality on high performance life. You don't need more strategies. You need change that goes deeper, helping high performers more than from survival, move to from survival patterns to clarity, alignment, and is my mission. Reach out. I offer a 15-minute consultation. We will explore if it is a good fit. And then I specialize in stress, anxiety, and life transitions. Um, Internal family system, LGBTQ. Um, Again, don't take insurance, but for my website, for at least for here, uh, okay, like this is like I offer my LinkedIn actually. I offer my LinkedIn because I want people to connect with me on social media. It is private pay, by the way, and as a private pay, I as a private pay, it is essential for me to develop really deep relationship with my customers outside of psychology today because nobody is going to pay. I'm not going to pay $250 somebody who I just met on psychology today. I would like to lean deeper into their work, have a conversation, be have an accessible way to talk to that person. And even though like $250 for a private pay therapist, for a private pay hypnotherapist, not the same therapist, and hypnotherapist not the same thing. Like this is quite reasonable, and like a lot of the time alternative methods or more eclectic approach to therapy, such as hypnotherapy, breath work, meditation, that comes at additional costs, and normal insurances don't reimburse that. So, but what I want you to like, if you take nothing from this live stream, I want you to take this. We're gonna start with the customer first. Then we're gonna explain how we work and the differentiator as well. That is important. But also, if you are private pay, this section is for my private pay people. If you're private pay or you're getting tired of insurance, and I know insurance doesn't treat therapists well, and it pisses me off. And like, because listen, therapists deserve to be paid. I work in mental health for a decade, and we deserve to be paid in corporate. We deserve to be paid in private practice. We deserve to be paid and be well compensated by insurances. Like this is like this is big for me. And you're you're leaning on private practice. Let me tell you a story because like this is it's gonna be easier for you to understand. I found a gay hypnotherapist, or I'm sorry, gay therapist, licensed professional therapist, charges $300. Sign me up. Why? Because he talks specifically to me. Two, his content, his YouTube channel, he described my life in the last 3 or 4 videos better than I could. This is messaging. He doesn't talk about his qualifications that he is licensed marriage and family therapist. We know that. We see letters, and if I don't know what the letters mean, I will Google it. But he describes exactly me in the content. And that is important. And I don't care if you use YouTube, I don't care if you use LinkedIn, I don't care if you use Instagram, unless you are that specific with your customer. And that is requires of energy of self, and that energy is connectedness. And that energy is connectedness. Hear me loud and clear. That energy is connectedness. How you connect with your clients and with your audience. That is essential. Number two, this is the energy of compassion. Because when you stop thinking about how do you get clients, and I know you're a very compassionate person, when you are approaching your private practice from the energy of self, from the energy of compassion, it immediately stops being about you. You immediately become um, become a light for others. You become a beacon of life versus like the spotlight is shining on you. And that will reflect in your content, and that will reflect in your messaging and marketing, and that will reflect in your psychology today, and that will reflect in your public facing marketing. Does that make sense? And that guy, that therapist that I'm considering, that I really like and that would absolutely hire for $300 per hour as a therapist. And for if you're not a therapist, just to paint you a picture, it is normally one session per week. So it is $300 every single week. I'm investing in that therapist. So, and why? Because that therapist specifically described my issues better than I could. And he speaks specifically for me and to me. And the only thing that he might be missing is IFS, Internal Family System Approach. And even then, I can actually send ADM and say, yo, do you do IFS? And for me, it is a known brainer because I don't see anybody else doing that. I don't see anybody else marketing this way. And when I say marketing, and like I know a lot of therapists and a lot of experts and a lot of business owners um, get a little uncomfortable. I get a little uncomfortable when I say marketing. He's not marketing. I mean, he is marketing, but he's not marketing. He's just talking to his people from the energy of self, compassion, connectedness, um, calm, clarity. He brings that. And this is not theoretical. It's this is very much practical. And he shows up with a very vulnerably. And when I see that, immediately yes. Immediately yes. So let me know what resonates with you. I will be covering more on my podcast on Tuesday. I know when I go live, I'm a little bit all over the place. I have ADHD, and sometimes it's challenging for me to keep the train of thoughts all together. Okay, but what we like, if you to summarize this live stream, is psychology today a good marketing asset for you? It depends. If you take insurance, it probably is, because when I think about insurance, I will look at psychology today and I will look if you take my insurance or not. And if you don't have thought leadership content, and if you're not immediately yes for me, I will be looking at the secondary things such as insurance and such as the price for your services, how much you actually charge. Like, this is one takeaway. Number two, and I think therapists sharing their expertise online is non-negotiable. You don't have to be content creator. You have to share your expertise. Which platform? Start, like, if you absolutely hate content creation, start with LinkedIn. And it's easier. You don't have to be on camera. You don't have to do a lot of videos. You can do live streams. It's very simplified. It's very like it's very simple. And also, with a caveat, yes, LinkedIn but also who you're serving, right? Who is your ideal target audience? Like if you're serving gay men like me, um, I probably will catch you on YouTube. I will probably catch you on Instagram. Like no shade to LinkedIn, but I will catch you on YouTube or an Instagram. Again, personally speaking, like I'm a paying customer. This is kind of like this is I'm letting you in on my busy brain and how I'm looking for therapists. And I clocked in that therapist, and if he was in the state of Washington or had license in the state of Washington, immediately yes. Immediately yes. And the takeaway number three, no matter what you do, no matter like which platform you are using for your marketing, Psychology Today, Instagram, Threads, LinkedIn, and it's not about you, it is about your customer. And stop thinking about marketing, start thinking about talking to your customer from the energy of true higher self, where the energy of connectedness, connect with your customers, connect with your audience on the higher conscious level, on the true conscious level. Compassion. When you are acting in the energy of compassion, not from the savior complex, but from the energy of true self energy of compassion, you will get marketing and talking to your customer 100% right, because compassion, the energy of self, will connect with other energy of self and will be recognized immediately, and you will connect just like that with your people, even if your content is not perfect, but it's from compassionate place. People will hear you, people will recognize you, people will connect with you, and people will pay your fees if you talk to the like kind of the first point. If you talk to the people from a compassionate self energy, people will pay you 100%. All right, this is all I have for today. Thank you so much for everybody on the replay. Love you. Everybody who joined live, thank you. And I will talk to you